Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Life Mastery Show. So it's midday Thursday here in Australia. I'm on the Gold Coast, and I want to welcome you all on board yet again. I absolutely love these shows. I look forward to being here every single week, and every week is very, very different topics, sometimes different people. So whether you're new or whether you have logged in and jumped on a few different times, welcome to you. So just a couple of things about this program. This program's all about life mastery. This is all about supporting and helping and encouraging and inspiring people to bring more life mastery into their life, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and many other aspects. And I'll be sharing more of those aspects as we go through the show today. And the way I work is you write up a question in the comments here, and I will do my very best to answer that in some way with an insight or some experiential answer. And what I'm reiterating throughout the program is I'm not working from that psychic perspective of a medium. I am working from more the psychotherapeutic process because I'm a psychotherapist and coach, and I help people from that perspective to bring more empowerment into their lives and to really get clear on the questioning so that we can give precise answers. So if you have something to type up, please be very specific in your question. Hi, Ginny, how are you? Great to see you on here. And so be really specific on the question, because I was shown and told and had the experience with one of my own teachers, Yehuda, when I was doing my psychotherapeutic practice as a psychotherapist and counselor, was sometimes he would not answer a question. And the reason being, he said the question is not clear enough. And it's a great thing to learn to do, is to ask clear questions. Because when we ask clear questions, we often get clear answers back from that. So try not to be too generic in certain, like, am I going to have a relationship this year, or is my relationship going to survive? I'm not really coming from that perspective. But if you want to know more about how to deal with a relationship and how to be more specific about the question, then very, very happy to give some guidance and support around that. Hey, please, anything for me about love. So Wendy, if you're listening, what I'm saying about this is I'm not tuning into the psychic perspective of tuning in from a medium perspective. So if you want to know something about love, can you be really specific? What is it specifically you're looking for or asking about for love? Because the more precise your question is, the more precise I can be in my answer. So Wendy, as you kicked off today with a question, thank you very much for that. See if you can get really specific. What is it about love you're looking for? Let's get into some of the psychotherapeutic practices and the mindset of how to bring that love about in your life. Yep. Because love is such a generic question. We have children's love, we have family love, we have relationship love, we have community love, we have self-love. So let's get really specific about the questioning, because this is very empowering. Part of the Life Mastery Empowerment process is to get specific on questioning. So same with Rebecca. Is my gran happy? Well, I don't know, because I don't know your gran, and I'm not going to tune into that psychic perspective, Rebecca. Also, with all due respect, I'd like to know, is your gran happy? One thing I would say to you is, why don't you call her and ask her? Or has she passed over? If she's passed over, then perhaps you can tune in and get a sense of, would she be happy in the space she's in now? Do you get a sense that she's happy? And maybe you can tune in and ask her that for yourself, because I say I'm not doing the psychic tuning into our beloved, so I'm not quite sure whether you are talking about the gran that's here currently on the planet, or whether she's actually passed over. So a little bit more clarity on the questions would be really, really, really good. So Wendy, okay, will I meet someone, please? Well, Wendy, you will meet someone if you put yourself out there to be met. So are you going out socially to meet somebody? Are you going on to online processes where you can meet somebody? Some of the dating sites are absolutely fantastic. I've lots and lots of friends who do the dating online, and they meet up and meet some wonderful people, or they go out socially and meet, and they go to meetups, or they do things. So if you want to meet somebody, you have to put yourself in the process of being met. That's what I would say to you. What are you doing for yourself to be met? And have you got really clear on that person you want to meet? Are you really clear on the type of person? There's a beautiful piece of prose that both my wife Arlene and I had separately previously when we met, that we actually didn't know we had. And it's by a lady called Araya Mountain Dreamer, and it's called The Invitation. So The Invitation by Oriah, O-R-I-A-H, Mountain Dreamer. You can Google it. And she has this beautiful piece of prose about the type of person she wants to meet. And my wife and I, we actually read that as part of our wedding vows. It's a very, very peaceful, useful piece of prose to really get a sense of who do I want to meet, what sort of type of person. And you can use that prose or that, that poem, or you can write your own and get really clear on the sort of type of person you want to meet, and then put it out to the universe, and then be practical about getting into the space where you can be met, whether that's online or offline. So I hope that really helps you there. How do I attract more money into my life? Okay, Deb, great question. How do you attract more money into your life? Well, I'm a great believer in vision boarding. I'm a great believer in writing the vision. But I'm also a great believer in being practical and doing practical things. And I'm just in that process now of attracting more money into my life. I work with 10 different aspects, 10 different life aspects: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, sexual, intimate, relationship, family, I forgot the other, and one of them is the financial. So what I've done, I've taken up some financial education for myself to learn more about how to bring money into my life, how to work with portfolios, how to actually get investments happening. And I do that through a Skyway investment group that I joined about a year ago. And now I go to the workshops. I've been overseas 3 times. I'm going back again in August to Belarus, where the headquarters are. I do the training and I get immersed in the world of finance. I get immersed in the world of money, and I get engaged with it. And I change my thinking around it, the poverty consciousness and all the different things. So how to bring more money is to start to engage in the process. And I'm very happy to talk to you about that. If you want to PM me, just Adrian Hanks on Facebook, PM me. I'm very happy to give you a conversation around that. I am offering up those 3 30-minute where am I right now consultations for anybody that would like to go forward to ascertain where you are right now in life, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, vocationally, relationship wise, whatever it is. Have 30 minutes with me in a conversation, and from that we can ascertain if I can support you in going forward. So very happy to support you in that. But I hope that really helped you in terms of that finance. Get engaged with it, get embraced with it, get to know the money, and get your vision happening on what you want to do with money, and then the universe will deliver to you. Will we find the right employee soon for our business? Say, Lisa, same thing. What are you doing to make that happen? The right employees. Have you got a criterion of the sort of employee you want? Have you written your vision? Have you drawn your vision? We want these employees for our business. These are the sort of people we want to employ. We're very clear on who they need to be, what sort of personality, what skill base they have. You write their job description up first, really clearly, and then put it out to the universe for those people. And you ask people, you can ask, through your LinkedIn pages, through your Facebook pages, through your business breakfast, whatever you're doing, and let people know you're looking for a particular type of employee. So, but get clear on what that employee is for yourself, like really clear on it. Age, skill set, personality. Do they do this? Do they do that? Do they not do this? Get really clear on that, and I think then the universe may deliver the right people to you. But you need to get clear on what it is you actually want first. The law of attraction is really alive when we engage with it. So Katrina, I'm extremely depressed. I'm not coping well. I try so hard, but lacking faith and trust in a brighter future. Okay, so look, depression is a really interesting one, Katrina. I don't know whether you're on medication for that or not, but depression, oftentimes for me, is about finding one's passion, finding about one's purpose, finding one's vocation, getting engaged in life, getting engaged in creativity. Because I know for when I work with people with depression, and I work a lot with people with depression, mild and sometimes severe, and one of the key things I find for helping people with depression is to find that passion, to get engaged with life again, to find that vocation, to find that passion, to find what you want to do here on the planet. Getting into nature as well, doing some artwork. Because I know if you're painting, you can either paint out the depression or paint into the depression, and express what that depression is. But I would suggest, Katrina, I don't know whether you've done any psychotherapeutic work around your depression. If you haven't, I would highly suggest you do, and I'm very happy to work with you if you want to PM me and send a message, Adrian Hanks on Facebook. Very happy to have a 30-minute consultation with you to ascertain if I'm the right person to work with. But I do a lot of work with people with depression to help them to move through that, to get back on track in life again. Because most people who are depressed are actually off kilter, off track in life. So how do we bring people back into life? We engage them again. We get back into artwork, we get into nature, we get into some really powerful meditations. We get them engaged with what's their vocation, what's their passion in life. And once one is engaged in that space, it's very hard for the depression or the energy of depression to come in again. So very, very, very happy to help you. Hey, Junior, would I win Lotto, please? Great question. Well, the first thing is I say to people, if you want to try and win Lotto, you have to buy a ticket. So, if you haven't bought a ticket, the answer is no. If you have bought a ticket, then the chances on winning are like everybody else, because everybody wants to win the Lotto. But, if you want to win, then you have to buy the ticket first. You have to engage with it and actually get that ticket. And then luck is in that too, isn't it? It's like whose numbers are going to get drawn. I actually know a few people who've won Lotto, small wins, and I know somebody who's had a big win. And I just think if you want to be in it, you have to buy a ticket. And if that's the way you want to go. But I would suggest have a look at, what it is you would do with the money if you won it. That'd be the first thing, like create that vision of if I had 10 million or 20 million or 50 million, how would I spend that? Like get clear on the vision of having money and get clear on what you would actually do with that. Put it to the universe to say, if I had $20 million, this is what I would do with it. Have your financial vision. I've written mine. I've got mine really clear. I know what I want to bring in and where it's going to be spent and who's going to get what and what investments I'm going to put in. And I'm really clear. That's why I'm doing the financial education right now with Skyway Invest Group. Very, very happy. You can go to that website for anybody listening in, skywaycommunity.com. So skywaycommunity.com. There's lots of information on. There's videos. You can connect. Come and join my team for free and get that education. And then I can talk to you about setting yourself up for that financial future. Very happy to do that. So Deb, thank you. Gina, thank you. Katrina, thank you. Yeah, lots of thank yous, and thank you for being here. That's the most important thing, because these conversations are really important. Getting some support, some guidance, some insight, and sometimes a bit of a challenge is really important in our lives. This is like a 1 hour of online coaching, if you like, just to support you on your journey. And if you want to go more in depth with that, then you can get more in depth with that. Just to let you know a little bit about myself while I'm just waiting for the next question. I am the author of a book, Where Am I Right Now? My personal development book. I've also written a children's book, Wendy and the Fairy Ring Secret, and I've been a co-author in many other books too, and I've made quite a few training videos, and I have my online life mastery program that you can jump on and join too. It's a 12-week online program with videos all set up, and you follow a process of bringing yourself into more life mastery over 12 weeks. So that's a very powerful course you can do. I've also got my mastermind programs that I run. I've currently got one running, and I start another one in a few weeks' time. And on Tuesday night, I have a free webinar on Facebook for 1 hour from 7 till 8 on Tuesday night with an introduction to masterminding. So if you haven't friended me yet on Facebook, you can please do so, Adrian Hanks. And if you want to put a little message in there saying, please invite me to the free mastermind webinar, I'm very happy to do that for you as well, so we can connect up in that way. And my website is adrianhanks.com. It should be back up tonight. I'm having some difficulty with it, technical issues. It's just looping around, but that should be back up tonight, and that's adrianhanks.com. But you can connect with me through Facebook, or you can send a message to here, and Sarah will get a message to me too. So any more questions from anybody with regard to life mastery? It's been some good questions already on the show, and I want just to continue that if anybody else has any questions. And remember to get specific on the questions, because I want to empower you in the process of learning how to ask clear, non-generic questions so that I can then give a nice, clear answer to you. It's a good practice. It's a really good practice. Asking questions, because communication is one of the most powerful tools we have. And when we get into conscious communication, when we're very aware of the way we communicate, the way we speak, the intonation of our voice, and we hear ourselves speaking, we hear ourselves engaging, and we understand the deeper aspects of communication with sympathy and antipathy and compassion and mindset and the clarity of communication, life changes. We step out of conflict a lot more, because when we're not in that antipathy, when we're not in that space of conflict, and we're in a more communal space of communicating on a more conscious level, it's a really wonderful place to be. And it's a study. Conscious communication is a study. I've been studying it now for over 20 years. Been learning a lot about the way we communicate. And we communicate, with our voice, with our expression, with our faces, with our hands. But there's an energetic communication as well. And a lot of that is lost in communication training. So it's really important to learn how to communicate on a deeper level. And one of those is to learn how to ask and how to give answers back specific to the question. It's a very, 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 very powerful process. Particularly in relationships, close relationships, it's a great thing to do. And one of the little tips in that is, if you hear somebody ask something and you're not quite clear of the question, just ask again. Sorry, I'm not quite sure of the question. Can you repeat that in a slightly clearer way for me so I can understand you? Because I really want to answer you in a clear and conscious way. But I need to understand the question first. So could you please just share that question with me in another way so that I might understand it? And it sounds a bit challenging, but once you get used to doing that, people get used to that with you. It's amazing how clear the communication can be. So that's just a little tip for you in terms of a conscious communication, is to just ask clearly. So I'm just inviting you now to ask some questions about your life: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, vocational, relationship, sexual, intimate, whatever it is for you. Just ask away and I'll see if I can support you in that questioning. Somebody was asking before about money. Just a little other tip as well is to read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, this book was written in 1938. I still believe it's one of the most spiritually enlightening books on the planet, particularly because it was written all that time ago, like 90 years ago now, or 80 years ago. And there's some amazing chapters in there, and the spiritual insights coming out of this book are absolutely powerful. I've been studying this now for over a decade, and I like to highlight my books and work with them and go over and over and over. So rather than just reading the book, I study the book. And I said I've been studying it now for over a decade, and it's got some powerful resources in there. And I use them a lot, and I've adapted those into my life, and I've adapted and I use those when I'm working with my students and clients as well. So a couple of powerful books for you is Adrian's book, Where Am I Right Now? That's actually going into the next edition, which will be coming out in a few months' time as well. New cover, a few new chapters, and a bit of editing in there. So that's really exciting to get that happening as well. So yeah, really good to get some good books in your bookshelf. Some people have hundreds of books on their bookshelf, for show, and they never read them, they never study them. And I reckon if you've got 3 or 4 books on your bookshelf that you just keep studying over and over and over and rereading and rereading and rereading, you get a lot out of it, because it's like a lot of things. You read it once, you get something. You read it twice, and there are words and phrases and paragraphs and chapters in there that just seem like I've never read those words before. Think and Grow Rich, I've read it, so many times, and I'm still finding gems in there. It's like, how did I miss that? Like the last 9 or 10 times I read the book over the last 10 years. And suddenly it just jumps out on me and I go, wow, there's another gem. There's another something new to work with. Because it's every book that's a good deep book has so many levels in it for us to play with. So yeah, I would urge you, Think and Grow Rich is a great book to tune into, particularly if you're looking at bringing more into your life and getting into that mastermind process and getting into the idea of the law of attraction. It's a great book for learning about that. So, any other questions out there, or are you just listening to Adrian chatting on? So it's good to do some engagement. So maybe if you have a question there about yourself, maybe just you might want to go a bit deeper down the rabbit hole from those people who've already shared a question, and we can go from there. So it's really good to get an engagement. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to see if there's something come up. Don't be shy. Okay, while I'm waiting, I can fill the space very easily. I can talk for hours and hours and hours. I just want to share a little bit. I shared a Facebook Live this morning as I went out this morning for my a bit of exercise. I went for a walk, jog, run, and I got caught halfway in a rainstorm. It absolutely teemed down with rain. I got absolutely drenched, and I came back and I gave a Facebook Live because I used that storm, that rainstorm, as a metaphor for how we get caught up in life in our storms. You know, mental storms, emotional storms, financial storms, relationship storms, job storms, losing our jobs or whatever's going on. And sometimes it feels like a big rainstorm, like we get drenched in it. We have to get through that storm. And oftentimes we're not resourced to get through those storms. We don't have the tools, we don't have the resources. So what I say to people is get tools, get resources. Get yourself set in case a storm comes at you and you have to walk through it, you have to move through it. Because when we're caught in the storm, without the umbrella, without the galoshes, without the shelter, we get drenched. We have to then go through the storm. But if we have the preparation, if I'd have had the umbrella, I would have been more prepared. If I'd have, ran somewhere where there's more shelter, I would have been more prepared. And life can throw curlies at us at any time. And if we're not prepared, then we have to, wade through that storm. So for me, it's all about preparation. Daily preparation, weekly preparation, lifetime preparation, and getting ourselves set physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, so that when things are thrown at us, we're not thrown right off kilter, we're not thrown off the tracks. We get thrown somewhat, of course we do, we're human beings, I'm a human being too, but not getting thrown so far off kilter that, we cannot get back on track again. And the way to stay on track, not maybe fully, but at least a little bit even sometimes, is to have some tools, to have some resources. And I say to people, have your toolkit ready. Have your toolkit of resources ready to go. And, one of my key resources is meditation. If I'm feeling stressed, if I'm feeling anxious, if I'm feeling like things aren't going, I just stop. And I drop into meditation for 10 minutes. Give myself permission. And I go into that space and I calm myself. And I breathe. And I breathe. And I bring myself back to center. I slow my breathing. I become aware of me and my surroundings and the situation. And then when I come out of that after about 10 minutes, I'm reconnected. I'm absolutely reconnected. And then I can go, okay, what do I need to do next? Maybe I'll go for a walk in nature. Maybe I'll go for a run or a swim or to the gym. Or maybe I need to make a phone call. Or maybe I need to send an email. But whatever it is I need to do, I'm in a more conscious place to do that thing that's next to do, to start to clear up whatever that storm is. Yeah. Whatever that storm is, I'm going to help to clear it up by coming out of my meditation in a clear space. When will my business give me good financial returns? Tanya, great question. Thank you for the question. When will my business give me good financial returns? Well, I don't know much about your business. I don't know what you actually do in your business. Is it Tanu? So if you could just, share a bit more, share only what you want to be public, of course, because this is a public forum. And what do you mean by financial returns? Have you done a business plan? Are you really clear on what you want in terms of financial returns? Have you done that business plan? Have you done your vision? Have you done the really clarity about your business and about what you want? And also about the services you're offering and the exchange of service to the return? So there's a lot in that question. And when I work with people setting up or being in small business or in business, I get really clear on them. What's your vision? What's your mission? That's step one. What's your vision? What are you actually trying to achieve from having the business? What is your service? What are you giving? And what's that exchange? And what do you want in terms of returns? Financial returns, moral returns, social credits, whatever it is you're after. But in your case, it's financial return. So get clear on your output and your input. What are you offering? What's the return? And I'll give you a little example. I was working a few years ago with a woman who was setting up her business. She'd just done some training as a in the healing arts, and she was doing kinesiology. and we were working, and she put it out there. She was really excited. She just done the training. She set up a little business, and she put it out to the world. Come and have a session with me. And she was charging, I think, $95 per session, and she just didn't get the response. And it was like, okay, let's look at what's happening for you in terms of where you're at in terms of that financial connection and your connection to your service and the return. So we did a little bit of work, and I said to her, did you test as a kinesiologist with your kinesiology what the figure should have been for you in terms of your exchange for your clients? She said, no, I didn't use kinesiology. I said, well, you're a kinesiologist. Perhaps it would be a good tool to use to gauge the energy that you currently have for your clients. So we did some work, and I do kinesiology. I do muscle testing, but also use pendulum. I make these beautiful little pendulums too out of pine cones. And we did a kinesiology session with her, with myself and the lady. And she said, well, I started with 95, but energetically, what actually come up when I muscle test is $75. That's the exchange. It's probably because I'm a bit new and I was excited and everybody else is charging different things, and I just guessed my figure. So I don't guess. Muscle test to see what your figure should be, and that'll be the engagement for you. And then she put it out there. She changed $75, and within a week she had 4 clients, which was a good start. New business, 4 clients. She had $300 in her pocket first week, and then from that she was up and away. But with 95, she was stuck because energetically it wasn't the right relationship. So Tanu, I'll be saying to you, get your planning, get clear on your vision, get clear on your mission, get clear on the exchange, get clear on what you want, get clear on your pricing, and just do your business plan. I don't know what you've done already, but very happy to help you. If you want to do a 30-minute consultation with me, just please send me a PM. Go to my Facebook page, adrianhanks.com. You can join there. You can friend me. You can send me a message, and I will arrange with you a 30-minute session to ascertain where you're at right now. And then perhaps if you wanted to work with me after that, you can certainly do so. I love to support people. I love to help people breaking through. And the best way to start is just like you've done there, is with the question, a very clear question, because from the question, we can move forward. So there's probably another question within the question, and that question will be, how much do you want to get back? What's your vision? Do you want 100,000 a year, 200,000 a year? Do you want to make $1 million? Do you want to make $10 million? What's your vision? What's your clarity around that? So thank you for the question. And anybody else have any more questions? And you can continue from this conversation with your questions if you want to, or they can be fresh questions with any topic relating to life mastery. Physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, relationship, financial, social. There's lots of different areas we can touch on in terms of life mastery. What I love about the show is the liveness of it. I love the actual fact that people actually come on here on live. I do webinars as well, of course, and I love this Q&A session on here, and I love to support the spiritual work, the spiritual directory that Sarah has set up. I think she's done a stellar job in getting all the different people on her different shows and sharing the insights and the wisdoms and the community support that we actually have to offer collectively. And we all do it in different ways. There's some great people doing some great things on these shows that Sarah set up. So I do I want to thank everybody for all that they do to be out there in the community and support people on their journey, because it is about supporting one another. It is about inspiring other people. It is about sometimes pushing and challenging people to make changes in their life. And I really love to do that. I love to do that every single day, so in whatever way I can. So just waiting to see if there's any more questions popping up. Don't be shy, just type away on the little keyboard there. Just a little bit is, I'm actually in my studio on the Gold Coast today. I was here last week, and previous to that I was in Milani, and previous to that I was actually in Europe, in Belarus. So it doesn't matter where I am on the planet, I endeavour to get onto this show at midday every Thursday, wherever absolutely possible. So I'm totally committed to being here and keeping this show going. So sometimes I'm not in my studio, sometimes I'm out there travelling either in Australia or overseas, but I will endeavour to be on this show every single week to get this Life Mastery show happening. So please do share, let other people know that it's on every Thursday. Come on board yourself, but also do share it with your friends on even on social media. Just do that share thing. You can even do it now if you like. I'm listening in with Adrian. I think you can even do a live share of listening in from your Facebook page. So you can do that too if you like. It's good to spread the word and get other people involved as well. So just waiting in there. Any more questions coming in? We had a good run at the beginning and it's drying up a little bit here. So relying on people out there to ask a few questions to keep the conversation going. And maybe I will ask you a question for those people listening in live, but also for the people that will be listening to the recording. Be asking you a question right now. So where are you right now in your life? Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually? Really powerful questions to ask yourself. So you can ask yourself that question, where am I right now? Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually? Am I in the 80-20 principle? Am I looking after myself physically really well? Am I eating the right things, drinking the right things? Am I putting the right things into my mouth, into my body? Am I still smoking? Am I still over drinking? Am I still not exercising enough? Is it time to change some of those old paradigms and do something new to get into that fitter state in the physical body? You're really looking after yourself. Can you honestly look at yourself and say, I'm feeling good physically and I'm well into that 80-20 principle? And then emotionally, can you ask yourself the same? Are you, emotionally stable? Are you finding tools and resources to help you stay in your emotions so you're not losing it, so you can have a quality emotional intelligence in the 80-20 plus principle? And mentally, are you studying at the moment? Are you using your mental faculties as well as you can? Are you doing some study? Are you doing some creative writing? Are you doing something creative to keep that mental faculty going? Really important. Are you having conscious communication to keep that mental faculty going? And also spiritually, have you got your spiritual path set? Do you know where you're going, what you're doing? Are you in touch with that bigger realm outside of ourselves? So just a few questions for you. And sometimes it's worth just sitting for a little while to answer those questions deeply. And if you're not in that principle of what I call the 80-20 or even the 90-10 principle, which is what I try to work with, then I would suggest, ask yourself those questions. Hey, Tanu, thank you for following up a little bit on the question, going a bit deeper. I'm into the business of handmaids. So when you say handmaids, I'm suggesting what, soaps and lotions and different things like that, or is it something quite different? But Tanu, there's a lot of homemades where people are making incredible incomes because they're really clear about their business strategy. They're really clear about their business strategy. They can sell from home or they can sell from a shop. You're crafting, okay. What sort of craft? Do you want to promote yourself on here right now? This is a great place to promote. There's people listening in. There's, I think last week there were like nearly 700 people watched my show, and I've added up to over 1,000 people. So if you want to just put it in there and let people know what you do, we can start you in the process of promoting, because this is what it's about. It's about getting out there, promoting your craft, promoting your gifts, promoting what it is you have to sell. And a lot of people are great at making and crafting, but when it comes to the selling, when it comes to the promoting of the business, that's where it falls down, because they're not trained, they don't have the skills in that, or they don't know quite how to do that. I can write a book, but then selling it's another skill. So crafting is great. I craft a lot. I make didgeridoos and I do other things, and I make little pendulums. But if you're in the handmaids, if you're in the crafting, how can you take that to the level where you're having a really good income every week, every year from your crafting? Where you're promoting it, where you're selling it, what are you actually making, who you're selling to, who's your target market, what's your promotions, what's your way of selling that? Are you doing markets? Are you selling from home? Lots and lots of questions around that. So if you want to ask a little bit or give us a bit more information, Tanu, or just, let us know what it is you're crafting. Let this be a bit of a practice for you about getting out into the world. Very, very happy to support you in that. So if you want to type that up, you can do that. There's a lot of people, there's a huge percentage of people, particularly here in Australia, who are self-employed. A huge amount of people in Australia self-employed who every single day have to get up and work at their business, work for and work in their business to keep it going, to keep it active, to get the clients, to sell their products. Tens of thousands of people every day wake up in the self-employment space, like myself, and we have to keep creating. We don't work for a big business that does it for us. So we have to put the time into the making and the planning and the visioning and the promoting and the advertising. And it's not always easy being self-employed if you're in that space. But it's about getting the planning, it's about getting clear on the process for yourself. So very happy to answer if you have more on there to share on that, Tanu. So is there any other questions from anybody? Otherwise, very happy to share a little bit, a few different insights and a few different things. So I just want to come back to the idea of meditation and bringing meditation into one's life. So if you're not meditating now, the question is why? Because meditation is such a great resource, it's such a great tool, and it's free. And it's not so difficult to learn to meditate. People complicate meditation so much. The most powerful meditations are the simple meditations where you close your eyes and breathe. And breathe. And relaxing the body and breathing. And relaxing the body and breathing. Relaxing the body and breathing. That's breathing into your hands, having your hands softly beside you or on your lap. And just letting the breath rise and fall. If your mind starts to wander, just bring yourself back to your breathing and focus on the breathing. If your mind starts to wander, just bring yourself back to your breathing and focus on the breathing. And really, that's it. That's meditation. That's meditation. So if you're not meditating, I would suggest start meditating. And if you have meditated before and you need to up that meditation, just find the right time of day for yourself, where you're going to meditate regularly every single day, because that regularity really, 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 really helps. So find the right meditation, find the right time, and you don't have to meditate for an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 hours a day. Just once a day for 10 minutes or several times a day, just to get used to the meditation process. I'd probably meditate 4 or 5 times a day, just drop in, sometimes for 2 or 3 minutes, sometimes for longer. Particularly if I've got something going on when I just need to calm myself. I just go, okay, Adrian, time to meditate. Find a space. And just back to self. It's a great resource. Absolutely fantastic resource to have in one's tool bag. So it's one of the key ones. And if you're in business, particularly if you're working for yourself, meditation is a great tool. So Tanu, for you, if you're not putting meditation time into your business, I would highly recommend it. Because you can meditate on opening up your consciousness for ideas, for thoughts. Like, well, what do I need to do in my business next? You can go into meditation and put that thought out there, put that question out there, and sit and wait for some internal response. Because in that meditative space, when we're not in stress, when we're not thinking from a cognitive place, lots of insights can come from that space. So I would highly recommend some meditation for you. So a few things today. One is clarity of questioning. One is meditation. One is getting really clear about where you are right now in your life, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and all those other aspects. So there's a few things to work on. So this is the Life Mastery Show with Adrian. Invite you to look at your life, look at how you are in your life from a life mastery perspective. Are you a master of your life? Are you really clear about what you do each and every single day, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually? Are you communicating well? Are you exercising? Have you got clarity of thinking? Have you got on your spiritual path? All those different questions to bring yourself into that place of life mastery. Because when one is in that place, when one is in the life mastery space, it's such an empowering place. Make my own decisions. Obviously, I have my coaches and my mastermind partner and my healers around me to support me. But ultimately, I'm in control of my life. I am the master of my life. I have my life mastery set because I work on it. So I urge you, I implore you to, get into the life mastery process, get empowered with your life, make some life choices from the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and other perspectives, and do your vision, get a plan, and then put it into action. So VPA, vision, plan, action. Vision, plan, action. Those three key tools will really help you. So get your vision. Do your vision board. Write it down. Get clear in your mind of what your vision is for different things. And then do some planning, particularly if you've got a small business. Like Tanu said, get that business plan happening. Plan your next steps. Plan what you're going to do in your life. And then, of course, put it into action. And sometimes to get into action, one needs a coach. You need to do some work, some mindset work to break through the old paradigms, the old saboteurs, the old stories that we all carry. So I'm constantly working on my old stories, our old sabotage patterns, because we all have them. Sometimes they're a little bit conscious. Oftentimes they are so unconscious, they are so hidden that we need to do some work with somebody to dig them out, to shine the light on them, to shine the light on those sabotage patterns, on the old stories, on the old paradigms that we carry, because they're the things that stop us moving forward. And oftentimes this business, it's not about the promotion, it's not about the way we promote the business, it's not a way we advertise a business, it's not a way we go about business. It's the mindset around the business. Because there might be some old story in there that might be telling you you're not deserving, you're not good enough. You can't articulate, you can't communicate. Whatever that old story is can be inhibiting in going forward, particularly in business. I know for myself, when I first wrote this book, it took me so long to publish it. The fear of rejection, the fear of criticism, the fear of what other people might think, the fear of somebody reading it and picking up a mistake in the book. Maybe I spelled something wrong or said something that wasn't quite right. So there was a lot of mindset. So writing the book was pretty easy. But getting it out there, wow, that was a journey. And I had to get lots of support around that to change my own thinking, my own mindset around that. So if you're in that space right now where you need to change your mindset, you need to change your paradigm, we need to get a new story, then please do contact me. Send me a private message and let's get happening and have a free 30-minute consultation with me. And then we can ascertain where you are right now in your life and how you can move forward in your life. So pretty exciting times when there are people out there offering you some support, because we can offer, but it's up to you to take that offer and to move with that offer and take it up and actually make that step, take action, because taking action is the hardest step. 99.999% of people I meet have something in their life they want to change, self included. And if we don't get the support for it, it'll stay unchanged. Some things we can do alone, but oftentimes we can't. We have to get the support for that. So I'm suggesting, if it's not me, get somebody else to support you. But if it's me, then contact me and let's have a conversation. Because it's all about getting our life mastery happening, ladies and gentlemen. It's about getting it happening. Because the more empowered we are individually and collectively, what an amazing planet we can create. Because at the moment, it's not the best place to be on this planet. There's lots of negatives on the planet. There's lots of things happening on the planet that are not good for us as humans. So we have to change it. But we start with ourselves. If we can't change ourselves, I don't know if we have the energy to help to change others or change community or change the planet. Because it starts with self. We have to find the strength and the will and the courage to change ourselves first. Because if we don't work on ourselves, it's going to be really hard to change the thinking of others. Because people get inspired when they see others changing. I do a lot of my work through the inspiration of what I actually do myself. And that's not about putting myself on a pedestal. That's just about choosing to be a leader. It's about choosing to live my life in a certain way to help inspire others. Because when people see that, I've had a lot of people over the last few months get inspired by the physical work I was doing over the last 6 months. So in October, November last year, I made a conscious choice to take my fitness level to a higher level, into that 90-10 principle. So I did. I employed a coach. I worked with a coach for 4 months on my food intake, on my exercise, on my mindset. And in 14 weeks, I lost 13 kilos. 13 kilos. That's a lot of weight. And then I lost a little bit more. And I again didn't put it back on again in muscle. But it was a conscious effort. It was a conscious way forward. And from that, other people around me started to do the same. And now they are in such a fit state physically. And then they're watching what I'm doing with my emotional process and my mental process and my business and my finance. And I'm inspiring people. So if you want to inspire people around you, you have to do it yourself first. Because it starts with self. So I hope that's a clear message for you. Do it for yourself, but you also might be doing it for others around you too, which is a very, very, very powerful thing to do. But it starts, do it for yourself first. If you're doing the life mastery work, do it for yourself first. Get into a better physical space, emotional space, mental space, spiritual space, financial space, relationship space, sexual space, intimate space, vocational space, social space. All those different aspects of our life can be improved, but it starts with the vision, the planning, and then the action. They're the 3 steps I would suggest that you get into. So let's just see if there's any more questions out there in all things life mastery. We've had some great questions in there. Tanu, if you want to just continue on that crafting question and let people know what it is you're doing. A great opportunity to promote. You're going to be promoting to hundreds of people on here about what you do. I'm giving you that absolute gift to let us know what it is you do. Because there might be people on here say, wow, I absolutely would love one of those things, whatever it is you're selling. So this is the way we do marketing. People frown and people are afraid, or people have negative ideas about multi-level marketing. We do it all the time. We're always sharing with others. Like I'm sharing now. I'm sharing Tanu. I want her to promote her business. It's multi-level. It's her and me. Yep. And it's the way we do things. If you go to a movie and it's a great movie, you come back and you tell people. You let people know about the movie, then they go and see the movie, then they tell people and they go and see the movie. It's multi-level. So, I know people get caught up in that whole multi-level, and there's some negative aspects around, the finances, and you have to buy certain things every month, blah, 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 blah. So there are some limitations, to how people get involved. But when we get into supporting each other from a multi-level perspective, then it's a bit different. We can share and help one another from a multi-level perspective. So let's get into that energy. Let's support each other and help each other from that perspective. Really want to help and support as much as I can. It's what I get fed on that. I love that. I love helping. I love supporting. I love inspiring. I love to positively challenge people to get more out of life. I like to challenge myself first and then the people around me. So any questions out there? Let's see if there's we can end the show with a few questions, because I love to get live and real, and I love the questions flowing in on this program. So anybody out there who was on previously that want to deepen the question? I had a great one earlier about when I win the lotto. I thought that's a classic, and I suggested, well, if you want to win the lotto, you have to buy a lottery ticket to be in the chance to win it. Because if you don't buy a ticket, there's no way you're going to win the lotto. And I must say, it is wonderful to be on here every single week, and every week is different. Some week it just absolutely flows, and there's questions coming on the screen every 10 seconds, and like, wow, 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 and it's hard for me to keep up. And then other weeks, it's just a little bit slower. People are in a different space. So, it depends on where people are at and what's out there, but it's all good. It's all absolutely fantastic, because this show does get recorded, and it does go out to that wider audience after it's been live. And pretty amazing that so many people come on. It's between sort of 600 and over 1,000 people every week actually get to watch this during the week. I keep reposting it, and it's on the Spiritual Directly page, of course. And a lot of people who can't be here live choose to watch it afterwards. So if you're one of those people and you're not here live, and you do have questions and you want to get more specific and work with me more closely, you can connect and contact me, and I will set you up for a free 30-minute consultation to ascertain where you are right now in your life, and to see perhaps if I can work with you on a deeper level through my coaching and even my psychotherapeutic work. So yeah, Karina, hi to you. Top fan, it means you've been on here quite a few times, because you've got the little top fan glyph above you. It's good to see the top fans joining in too. It's like a little VIP club of top fans. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I love being in any VIP space or any special club. It's just there's a thing, if you're going to go to a workshop somewhere and it's a $47 workshop or free workshop, but you can get in the front seat for a little bit more, pay that bit of money and become that VIP. It just feels so good to give yourself that label and to be there in that mix, because there's a different higher energy, higher vibration in that. So top fans, really good to see that little thing in there, because it means you're engaged and you're in here quite often. So welcome and hi to you, Karina. Do you have a question for me? Is there anything in there in your life right now where you'd like a little bit of clarity? And once again, not from that psychic medium perspective, but from a life mastery perspective of helping you to bring more into your life, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, vocationally, in relationship, or wherever it is for you. And I'm very happy to answer any questions for you, particularly because you've said hi with a beautiful smiley face. So as I was saying, love being on the show. Every week is very different. Sometimes I'm in a different space. Sometimes here in my studio, sometimes while I'm traveling. And I've also been overseas a couple of times and been on this program as well, because I have my trusty phone with me, and I do all the lives direct on my phone now, because it's nice and easy. I can read all the comments coming up nice and easy on the screen, and it's nice and easy to set up wherever I am in the world. So it's technology is just an incredible, fantastic thing. You can imagine, even just 12 months ago, this wasn't possible. We didn't have Facebook Live. And what did we do pre-Facebook? What did we do pre-computer? If we go back 10, 15 years, how did business happen? How do we communicate? How do we connect with other people? We did. It happened. But thinking back on that, I just go like, how? And how did I get my clients? How did I communicate? How did I meet people? How did I let people know what I was doing on the planet? Well, if we go back, 15 or 20 years, we had those things called telephone boxes. And we had phones in our homes, and we used to phone people. And that was pretty much the communication. That was the contact. Some people had CB radios. I remember I was a young lad, had my CB radio, and had a closed circuit of people where we did that. but mostly it was through the telephones in the home, or we'd go socially and meet up with people, and there were regular meets. But now the technology is so fast, so furious. But it works for us right now, and it'll change again in another decade. And we look back at this in a decade and go, wow, that was pretty antiquated, that was old, because technology moves so quickly. And with our mind, it's about keeping up with that technology. It's easy to be in that Luddite space where we don't want technology to go forward. And I've been guilty of that myself, where I've been a little bit fearful of technology and staying back in the past a little bit. But now I'm really embracing technology. I'm really embracing what's possible in the 21st century from a positive perspective. There's lots of other things that I'm not pleased about. There's new 5G energy we have to now put up with, and untested in Australia. We don't know what the impact of that's going to be on an energetic perspective for us from a health perspective. So I'm really cautious. Happy to support it if I know it's safe. I'm happy to support it if I know it's been tested. Happy to support it if I know it's okay for my health. But I don't know that because it hasn't been tested. Things have been put in place without the testing. So some things are great and some things need questioning. And they need questioning with clear questions. Just like on this show, clear questions are really good. So amazing things happening on the planet right now. Amazing technology coming through. Amazing new systems are coming into place. The workspace is changing. Social media is changing. Finance is changing. More cryptos coming on board, and I was really not into that space, and now I'm slowly getting into it in a way that suits me, in a way where the crypto I'm working with is regulated, or going to be regulated, and it has an asset base towards it, so it's not just a pie in the eye Bitcoin sort of space, which I don't get into. That's my personal choice. No disrespect to anybody who's in that space, but it's got to resonate with me. And the life mastery is about what resonates with us and what doesn't resonate with us. And it's good to get clear on that. It's good to get really clear on what resonates, what doesn't resonate with me. So take that question away with you today. What is resonate with me? What's not resonating with me? What else do I need to do in my life, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and those other aspects that I've shared to bring myself more into alignment? And what resources and tools do I have, and which ones would I like to bring in? Which new resources would I like to bring into my life to help me to stay on track, to be more connected, to be more conscious? Because consciousness is everything. Consciousness is everything. And I just want to do a little bit of a plug for that. I write articles for the Global Healing Exchange. They have the magazine that comes out every few months, and I wrote an article in there, and it was about health. It was about heart health, about being healthy in the heart. And I spoke about the 3 soul aspects, of which one of them I believe connects up to the heart space. Because when we come from the heart space, it's okay, but it's only one space. Because we also have to come from the thinking space, as well as the feeling or heart space. But then we have to come to the space of the doing, the will. So for me, it's about thinking, feeling, and willing. So I think it, I imagine it, I bring it in, and then I feel into it and get the emotions behind it and get the desire behind it. And then I take action. So thinking, feeling, and willing. It's a bit like, vision, plan, and action. Same sort of process. So it's a very, very powerful thing to bring into your life, particularly if you want to get into that life mastery. So we're coming to the top of the hour. This is nearly an hour's up already. Could stay on here for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I actually love sharing. I love being in this space. But we are coming to the end of the show. So just to let you know, jump on my Facebook page, Adrian Hanks, on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. I do have an introduction to masterminding, a free webinar. There's also lots of other things going on. So come and friend me, come and connect up on the Facebook page. My website will be back up and running very, very, very soon, adrianhanks.com. I'm just having a technical issue with that right now. You can also PM through this platform as well, and Sarah will get the messages to me. So I really do look forward to connecting with you. Come and book in for that 30-minute free consultation with me to ascertain where you are right now in your life, and we will go from there. So thank you again. Love and blessings to you all. Really want to thank you for the questions that you had. I hope that the answers I gave have given you some insight in bringing more life mastery into your life. And I will see you again here next week, next Thursday, once again at midday. Thanks again. See you soon.